people? Nature Girl 30 here, and I don't have a lot of questions for this Q&A, and I know my Q&A has been kind of slow, and it's not Wednesday, it's way late in the weekend. So, yeah, I know it actually is pretty slow. I was going to put this out on Monday, but I might change my mind and put it up sometime this evening. But anyway, welcome to the Q&A. Thank you so much for sending me questions. We don't really have that many people, like I said before. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with some of the questions on Twitter that I have from Largest85. His question for me is this. His first question is, why are you not answering Lonnie Lowe's questions anymore? He sent me a really angry message about it. Mostly because Lonnie Lowe has nothing nice to say. He's insulting me. He's insulting my friends, saying a lot of racist comments. And like I said, I do not answer racist comments, and I don't have to. So that's the reason why I do not answer any of his questions. If he has a legit question to say that is not condescending or gross, I will answer it. Flat out. There you go. Second question for me is, has 2015 been the worst year ever? There's been a lot of stuff happening this year. I'm not going to lie, with the shootings going like crazy, to a lot of deaths, and it hasn't really been a great year, but it has its positives. I will say a lot of historical moments have been made from the Fair Housing Act going on. Sorry about that. From the Fair Housing Act pretty much being put up in 2015 to something I would never thought that would ever happen, same-sex marriage legal in every single state. I never thought that would happen either. A lot of things that happened in Congress, a lot of bills that were passed, some positive, some have negative effects. And can we also say that the Confederate flag, the source of a lot of racism in the South, or people who consider it the source, was taken down and retired in my home state of South Carolina. Well, my home state is Georgia, but you guys know what I mean. South Carolina actually took their Confederate flag down and put it in a museum. And that's a historical moment. Even though that chick climbed up the flag about a week before, and I'm not going to go into my feelings about that, but I will say that the flag was taken down and a lot of history has been made for 2015. There have been some negative moments, especially with the shootings and everything, and I won't deny that, especially with what happened in Paris. But I will say there was some historical moments too. And especially a lot of togetherness of what happened after the shooting in Charleston. But it wasn't all bad. There were some positive moments of light through some dark situations. I'm going to move on to number 3. Do you believe that rumor of Kevin Dunn was the one that murdered or Kevin Sullivan was the one that murdered Benoit and his family? I think people need to accept the truth. Honestly, there's a lot of there's a lot of things pointing to Kevin Sullivan. I'm sorry. There's a lot of the situation itself is pointing to Kevin Sullivan. I'm sorry, it is. Number one, his ex-wife cheated on him with Chris Benoit, and him and Chris Benoit actually knew each other and were friends. I mean, not to mention, I'll be honest. If you actually do see your ex-wife literally leaving you for a close friend of yours, that kind of, I'm sorry, that's gonna bite at you. Not to mention the fact that they had kids together. And I'm sorry, the entire area, according to the reports, seems way too staged. I'm sorry, fingers do point to him. It's an obvious, it could be a crime of passion. I have no idea. I have no proof, but I would not be surprised if he's the one who did it. I'm sorry. Or had the whole situation set up. I would not be surprised if Kevin Sullivan had some involvement in it, because he probably did harbor some bitterness that his wife left him for his friend, not to mention had kids. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Sullivan is involved, but that I don't know. So honestly, I would not be surprised. I can't say I believe it because there's no proof that's brought forward, but I would not be surprised if he was involved. I'll just say that. Number 4. Is WWE going to get worse next year? I don't know. Right now, I'm trying to see the bright side of things, but I'm not going to be an idiot about it. When it comes to reviews, as you guys know, I don't do a lot of Raw reviews unless it has a reason to talk about. But all I'm hoping is maybe next year things will be different. With WrestleMania 32 possibly being the WrestleMania where the Undertaker is going to officially be done, maybe some things may be positive from there. I don't know. Maybe they'll start pushing future stars and stop relying so much on their legends. I can just hope. I'm not going to really say the bad. It's going to be bad or worse next year. I don't know. But I'm hoping for the positive. That's all I can do in this situation. And your fifth question for me is, what are your thoughts on people who wishes death upon Eva Marie? All I can say is, gosh, get over it. Look, I would not wish death on anybody just because I didn't like them. Sure, you don't like the character. You think the character is worthless, pointless, and a waste of space. Okay, fine, whatever, even though that's rude. But still, I would not wish death on anybody. She's a character. It's not her in real life. It's just a character, people. The same thing with the Cena hate. It's ridiculous. But as for Eva Marie, all I can say is this heat that she's getting is going to be to her benefit. She is getting the Vicky Guerrero treatment, which is good. So you can imagine how much heat she's going to get if she gets the belt, and how much worth that belt is going to have for anybody to take it off of her if she takes the belt. She'll be the JBL of the women's division. And JBL was a boring champion, but he was the most hated. And after he had the belt taken off of him, good grief, was it a positive for that face that took it off of him? So anything, all I can say is everything can go up from there for Eva Marie. So if she does get the belt, it'll be great for her. And as for the death threats, get over it. It's a character. Calm down. No point in trying to get anybody killed like you really would, but I'm not going to really go there, as crazy as people are these days. But anyway, let's get started with my Facebook questions, my YouTube questions. My first set of questions actually comes from, and I think I probably already answered this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is from Dustin Nunn. Do you think the WWE and other past promotions should be sued for paying Chris Benoit and other wrestlers for getting hit to the head so much and for taking steroids? Because no wonder our childhood wrestlers have died over the years. Deaths and killing their family members, mental issues, brain damage, concussion-related symptoms, killing themselves, and drug overdoses. No wonder the professional wrestling sucks now. Your thoughts? Just asking. It is like the pot calling the kettle black. We all know that Vince McMahon was notorious for taking steroids back in the day during the Attitude Era. He even admitted that he did it. So it is like the pot calling the kettle black. Not to mention when it comes to some stars that break the wellness policy is not really fair for everyone, because if you're a big enough star and you've broken the wellness policy, more than likely they're going to overlook it. They did that with Randy Orton multiple times. So the wellness policy, in my humble opinion, is a joke. It's just a way of saying that we are doing something even though they're not. So it is kind of hypocritical for them to do that. And yeah, with the business itself, you're going to take a bunch of hard knocks, falls, concussions, all that. If you know the risk and you still want to do it, then it's up to you. If you want to leave, you can leave too. As for Chris Benoit, yeah, he has taken his hard knocks, but you got to admit his flying headbutt caused a lot of damage to his noggin, especially having your brain shift around every time you do it. I mean, it's something that happens over the years. And with steroid use, it can affect your behavior. It can affect your attitude and make you a bit more aggressive. So unfortunately, I'm not going to say that steroid use is the primary reason why some of these wrestlers do die, even though I would not be surprised if it's a cause. But of course, concussion-related injuries are very dangerous, hence why some sports are actually cracking down on it. But when it comes to a business that don't have any medical care or any kind of insurance policies or medical insurance, then yeah, there's no preventative way to prevent concussions from happening. Unless, I mean, there really is no way. Even if you train someone to fall correctly, they're still going to be injured. It's a possibility they could get a concussion. No matter what. That's what the business is. And the mat is literally an inch thick of leather with some hard particle board and 2x4s underneath it with some springs. It's a little bit of give, but not a lot of padding. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of stuff wrong with you, and that's just the business. That's how they roll, and they made the decision to be there, so I can't necessarily blame anybody in this situation. But I'm hoping I did answer your question there, even though I went everywhere except for the subject at hand. But anyway, let's go to the final question of this Q&A, and it's Old Ape Griffin. Your thoughts on Jordan Gable and NXT? I like him. I actually do like them. Reddy, Willing, and Gable. I enjoy them. I actually think that they're a great tag team. They have a lot of potential. Jordan reminds me a little bit of Kurt Angle. He reminds me of the black version of Kurt Angle. So I see a lot of growth in him. Gable, there's lots of people you can probably describe him as. I'm not going to say that he's a little bit like Dolph, but he has that attitude like Dolph. But for some reason, every time I see him, I think of Simon Gotch. Even though Simon Gotch is with the Vaudevillains, and it's a given he's like straight up 19th century strong man, like that whole gimmick. But he reminds me of Simon Gotch. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm picturing that. But there's a lot of potential with those two, and I'm really looking forward to see where they're going to take them next. Speaking of NXT, why does Eva Marie waste time there? Why don't they release her? Look, like I said, Eva Marie, and I gotta give mad props to her. She knows where she's from. She knows who she is. She knows she's from Total Divas. She knows she's a reality star. She knows she was a fitness model. And she knows she's getting a massive amount of hate. So she's going to capitalize on it. She's getting better. She's actually practicing. She's trying. So honestly, I don't consider her worthless. She's trying, and she's trying to get a hold of her character. And I will admit, she's doing pretty good as a heel. She's getting better as a heel. Time is going to tell how great she's going to become, but I really do see that she's going to get better at it. Do you think it's insulting to the legacy of Trish to compare her to the talentless Eva Marie? Honestly, no. I don't think it's an insult to her legacy, because Trish did the exact same thing. Number one, Trish was a fitness model before she came to WWE. She was a valet for anybody. She was a valet for not TNA. I think it was TNA. She was a valet for TNA. Not to mention, she was a valet for Vince McMahon, and then she started performing on her own. The first time she performed, she was not that great. It was botch after botch after botch. She hurt herself as well as other people. The thing is that she had to get better. She had to keep trying. She had to keep practicing. She had to get better, and she did. She became one of the best divas known to man. Not to mention, she's in the Hall of Fame. But she didn't start off great, people. And if you honestly want to go back and see footage, go back and watch it on the network. You'll see how bad she was the first time she came out. She was not all that good. She was hot, but she wasn't that great. She got better as time went on. I'll give her mad props for that. But people need to stop hating on Eva Marie, because Eva Marie went the same way. Seriously, she's going the same way now. There you go. Why do people like My Little Pony? Isn't that show for little girls? No, it's not. There's a huge male fan base for My Little Pony. I love My Little Pony. I watch it every Saturday. That's a great show. Freddie got me into it, and I haven't stopped. I actually love that show. And it's really fun. It's very colorful. They have great, great songs when it comes to the finales. The finales are always over the top. I like it. It tells a great story, especially for little girls or little boys that are going through the same thing. Just because it's about ponies doesn't mean that boys can't watch it. They got horses in there too. They got male ponies in there too. If there's such a thing as a male pony, there probably is. But anyway, I mean, there's male ponies in there. There's horses in there. They actually tell stories about them, especially about those that don't feel. Either or, it's a great tale for anybody that likes it. It's not gender based, and just because it's girls mostly does not mean that guys can't enjoy it too. And if you think they're all pedophiles, that's in your head, buddy. Where's your head at? That's what I'm saying. That's my question. But your last question for me is: do you think it's outright? Do you think it's all right for grown men to like My Little Pony? Do you think those who might like My Little Pony are creepy pedophiles with? I know what you're saying, and knock it off. Okay? Knock it off. I know what you're saying. Enough. But anyway, like I said before, My Little Pony can be liked by anybody. I like My Little Pony, and I'm a grown woman. I enjoy it. So what? And just because it's a show about ponies don't mean you can have fun every once in a while. And it seems to me that if you're so focused on men liking My Little Pony, maybe you watch it too. There you go. But guys, that is it for this Q&A. I thank you so much for sending me questions. And if you have any more questions for me, I will do my best to answer them at an appropriate time. But with the season and all, I cannot guarantee that I'm going to have these things out on Wednesday. But still, as always, send me your questions by Sunday. I will do my best to get them out. But if I can't, then I'll do my best anyway. But either or, guys, I'm the Nature Girl 30, signing off. Peace out. Later.